Whether you're working alone or with a team, how you name your files is an important part of the creative production process. In this video, I'm going to talk about file naming. Let's take a look. I know how it is. You're in the zone of making something and it's all too easy to save the file quickly and name it something that may make sense to you in the moment, just so you can crack on with the work. Only for later on when you or a team member are struggling to make sense of it all and find the right file. We've all been there. To create an organized workflow, it's important to give your files a sensible name that describes what's inside without it being too long and complicated. Bonus points for sensibly naming your layers within the files. I'm going to show you what I use, so when it comes to naming your files, you can have a format to follow. As an overall naming convention for a project, I like to use the format of client name, project name, description, suffix. So let me break this down. It's probably overkill to have all this detail for every file in your project, but first I want you to understand the format so you can decide what parts are necessary for you. Ideally, you want to have a shorthand version of your client and project name, keeping it to as few characters as possible. It could just be the first few letters. The description tells you what's in the file. If it's a graphic file, for instance, it could be a branding asset like a logo, or it could be a character concept art. For a delivery file, the description could be something like the aspect ratio or the language, whatever is deemed important for the deliverable. Then round it off with a suffix like a version number. Just avoid using final, as chances are you or the client may continue to make changes and it'll be a new final file. Here's how I version my files. For files that need reviewing, I tend to use a suffix to denote whether it's been reviewed by the team or the client. So if your file is being reviewed by the internal creative team or just for yourself to test, then I add -tr for team review and a version number. Then when the file is ready for the client to review it, I would add -cr for client review with a version number. If you haven't seen my video on folder structures, I talk a bit about this and how to organize this review process into folders. For delivery files, which are files that are completed, I sometimes like to add a date in the format of year, month, and day, which is the ISO 8601 international standard, if you must know. So this file name tells me which client and project it belongs to, that's the portrait version, it's in English, and it was exported in 2024 on January 16th. What's great about this format, especially when you use a date, is how organized the files are right away. Here I can see the same file, but the different versions of it are grouped together and organized by date. Similarly, if you were using the versioning format I use, it'll be organized by version number. It's worth noting that depending on the client you're working with, they may have guidelines in place for how to name files. This mainly comes to the delivery file in my experience, so up until that point, it's making sure you have something in place that's going to work well for you and any collaborators. I hope you found this useful. I'd love to hear how you get on with it. And if you'd like to learn more about developing a folder structure for your projects, then do check out my video on it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more creative workflow tips. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.